on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that! It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is definitely not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3. I got special guests joining me today, but one of them hurt my feelings before I even came on, so I'm going to try to hit this button. To bring her on. Hold on. Let me see if it works. Let me see. Just hurt all my feelings. And Kris is on. Let me get Kris on, man, because, look, man, get your girl, man. What? I hurt my feelings. She going to come on my show hurt my feelings.
What did the Miss Queen do to hurt your feelings, bro?
I'm gonna let her tell you.
I'm surprised that the buttons worked. I'm surprised there wasn't like barbecue sauce on fingers and the finger slipped and it didn't engage correctly. We just had a discussion. It was just personal preference discussion on barbecue. Simple as that.
Oh, okay. And she hurt your feelings, huh?
Hurt.
So did she question your choice in barbecue? Because what was it you told me to try?
Don't join her. You got to learn how to stay out of trouble, Doc. When there's stuff going on, you got to learn how to stay out of that, man. This stuff right here.
Something about burnt ends, right?
Oh my God. If you don't know what they are, you definitely can't be in the argument.
No, it was burnt ends. I didn't like them very much. That's all I'm saying. So.
Has Jack Stack's gone off the rails since I frequented the establishment?
No, it's still a viable. I support Jack Stack as well. Kris, in context, I just told him the question was posed, what is your favorite barbecue? And I just said, look, I keep it real, I keep it loyal. For me, Texas barbecue. If you smoke your meat correctly, you don't have to bury it and hide it under barbecue sauce.
That's correct.
And that's true. I'll give her that. But the best barbecue on this side of the Atlantic Ocean and that side of the Pacific Ocean is in Kansas City.
No.
It is. It just is. It just is what it is.
No.
And if you don't agree, you just don't know.
No. You're wrong, brother, but that's okay. It's your show. It's all right.
Some mesquite or some hickory smoked brisket, and we're good.
So it's been a good show.
I will never do pulled pork.
Yeah, everybody talking about pulled pork now.
Miss me with that.
We together on that.
Yeah,
we're together on that. But brisket, chopped beef, ribs, beef and pork. Rib tips. We ain't talking about Kris.
I'm just talking about what I had, man.
You might have got a bad batch, bro. I wasn't there. I know people. You might have not knew the same people. So,
well, I'll be back. So
but
I'll try it again.
The fact that you don't know the best barbecue in
It's in Texas. Yeah, it's in Texas.
In Kansas City.
Come on, man.
Not Memphis, not St. Louis.
No, it's in Texas.
Not the Carolina. It's
Not
in
the Carolina.
Texas.
Not down there in Florida with that yellow sauce. Mustard sauce. I'm sorry. Let me be respectful.
Or the mayonnaise. Or
No,
the vinegar.
no, that's no.
Sauce. I don't need sauce.
Yeah. I got.
Can we talk about how sharp she looks?
Oh, I did that too. Before I got
Okay.
insulted, before I got offended, before she said my mama was fat, I complimented her. I complimented her.
I did no such thing.
Jesus. My mother, who was with Jesus, she said, she fat, your barbecue nasty. I said, but I like your hat. You look real fly.
And she's joining us before having to go participate in the press conference for KU basketball in Indiana. So,
okay, good. Well, let me get you before you go. All right. So we just got a report today that Sean Miller is going to avoid serious penalty because they had self-imposed sanctions. Now, everybody did everything wrong but Sean Miller, and they had the nerve to say the same thing is probably going to happen to Bill Self because he fought it until he couldn't fight it no more, and then they all of a sudden self-imposed. Now he's going to get the same leniency? Talk to me, Kennetra.
Like I said, there is no rhyme or reason about the timing or the severity or inconsistency of punishment handed down by the IARP. So it's really not apples to apples because you don't know what's going to happen from one case to the other, from one school to the other. For Sean Miller to be like, hey, thanks for your support, thanks to my wife, and then he bounces back and he, all right, so I lose my job, but he bounces back and now he's, head coach at Xavier. There's no way to read the tea leaves and know what's going to happen.
There were assistant coaches that had 10-year show cause issues. Another one had 5-year show cause. And Sean Miller walked out of one building, Deuces, and walked into a Jesuit Christian Catholic Church of God at Xavier University up in Ohio. With no wait and see. Like, another man had the job on an interim basis, and it's like, thanks for coming. We appreciate it. We know all the players love you, but we're going to bring in this thief. I'm sorry, this coach right here, and let him come back to our school.
Yeah. And did the interim coach lead them to an NIT title?
he did.
Good brother.
Okay.
Had his mama sitting up there, his twin brother, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, like I said, like the rules are different. We all know this.
Hold on, real quick. Keith Hennick don't feel well either. Let me put him on real quick. Keith Hennick don't feel well. Hey, Keith, I hope take your medicine, bro. I hope you feel better.
We can go to Lockhart. We can go to Elgin. We can go to Luling. Come on.
Come on now, AJ. You just wrong on this one, man. You just wrong on this one.
Barbecue Station in San Antonio.
And I'm trying not to open it up for discussion and debate because y'all gonna get deluged with all the
they're wrong too. They're entitled to their opinion. I have agree to disagree.
Smart listeners, man, real smart.
The name of the show is Lunch Break. So hey,
and that's what I'm saying. We know good food. We know good food.
I mean, before my man moved back to Oklahoma, Stevenson's Barbecue in Stafford was on point too, man. I'm telling you. Ralph Cooper can vouch for that. You want to get Ralph on the show?
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna duck. I feel like in the state of Texas, I'm from Ohio, born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, went to school in New Orleans, Louisiana. What's up? Shout out to De La Salle and Tulane and Xavier.
Look, we ain't gonna even talk about Ohio chili.
Now wait a minute, hold on. Let's just say something real quick. Gold Star or Skyline, make your choice carefully.
Neither.
Oh, poor Jesus. Baby Jesus. Come tell the Father.
Texas.
Come lay your
chili,
hand all across the screen.
All beef, no beans, chili.
So here's the thing. What I've come to learn since I've been here since 1989 everything is bigger in Texas, including the exaggerations.
No.
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 The authenticity is
That's
bigger.
what you're going to call it. If that's what
Barbecue,
we're going to start
the chili's
calling
better. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Let's call it that then.
That's just that chili, man. It's just no. No.
Once again. First of all, let's just be real. The best food is at the hole in the walls. The best food
Oh, of course.
is at the places that you clutch your purse, you hold your pearl, you take your pearls off and put them in that purse.
Right.
And go in there. The best gumbo in New Orleans, Louisiana is not at the fancy establishments. Yeah. It's at a place in the French Quarters called Mina's, where the prostitutes, the ladies of the evening go when the police go down the street. So they run into Mina's and they're allowed to sit there and wait for the sweep to go by, and then they go back out and they earn their money. But the best gumbo is there.
What?
But what does that have to do with the fact that you were wrong about your barbecue and your chili?
I was gonna say, if I had known you last April before I went down to New Orleans before the Final Four, I would have gone in and sampled Mina's and could have provided you a report.
I'm just telling you.
Best
food in Colorado is a place outside of Denver where the lady asks you if she'll pass you 12 times before she said, "Do you want a table?" And you say, "Yeah." And she'll say, "Well, sit your down then." And the whole stick of the restaurant is for them to be rude to you.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, can't handle that, but the food is amazing. I love it.
Okay.
No, we need to get some sponsorship deals out of all these plugs.
That's what I really try not to do. See, Kennetra made me do this because she hurt my feelings and called my mama fat. She said she couldn't cook.
I made you.
Said my mama couldn't cook.
You the one to ask the initial question.
I did, Mama. So, what? Talk to me. Talk to me, Kris. Talk to me about U of H. Tough loss to Alabama, and now they're down at number 5, but they got a big one coming up this week. In fact, Kris, Kennetra, what do you think about how U of H played against Alabama, and what does that say about Alabama? Are they that good, or did they catch U of H?
No. Alabama's legit. Javon Quinterly's legit. I didn't get to see a lot of it just because KU was playing Mizzou, so I was in Columbia. But the hype surrounding it. But that's the thing. Don't put much stock into where teams are ranked in December, because you're not. Yes, it's fun to have these non-conference games, but you can be really good for one day. You could be really bad for one day. But once you get consistently into conference play and you're battling, each and every team every night or every week, then you have a larger sample size of who a team is, their identity, what their weaknesses are, because different conferences play different ways. And so so KU goes on the road, the first true road game of the season, and thrashes Missouri. They still fall 2 spots in the polls. Right. Don't cry over that. Whatever. You're still top 10. It'll all shake out. Conference play starts December 31st. So we'll see. Come January, February, who is legit and who is just kind of like a nice non-conference team.
Kennetra, there you go, Kennetra, talking logic.
I was gonna say, you sound
like
this guy on the other side of you right there, because he's ruined the regular season for me on all levels. He has ruined the regular season for me because I'm like all hyped up. He's like, "Bro, that ain't nothing. We're about to start conference play." And they're like, "Oh, okay, that ain't nothing. We're about to start conference tournament play." And then, that ain't nothing. We're about to start the big dance. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Can I get excited now?" So are you basically saying the same thing?
No. I mean, real quick about Saturday in Cougs in Alabama, UH was up 15 early in the second half, looked really good. And then offense just stopped working.
Yeah.
But more importantly, or surprisingly, their defense on the perimeter got carved up. Bama just beat them one-on-one. And no play calls, because the play calls they'd had UH shut down. So that didn't work.
Right.
So they went to one-on-one, and their one-on-one was better than Houston's defenders. And that's pretty rare in college basketball. And we'll see how the Cougs do Saturday in Virginia on the road. Virginia is very experienced. And the Cougs, other than Marcus Sasser, they're a young team. They really are a young team. And I've kind of overlooked it. But experience matters, And Alabama, yes, I know they got talented freshmen. Yes, I know that. Their freshmen did better than the Cougs freshmen did on Saturday. But again, that's Saturday, December 10th, not Saturday, March 31st or whatever, come tournament time. So we'll see how it all plays out. But the thing that Coach Sampson's going to take from it is he's trying to develop his bench. And then their next game, he played 10 guys in 10 minutes in the first half.
Yep.
And one of them is a redshirt freshman who was here in January, but he was with the team last season to work out, learn, get in shape, learn the culture. And the other one, Javier Francis, is really a redshirt freshman too. His future is bright. I mean, 6'8", long arms. One of his rebounds, I can't really describe another player who does it. But AJ, he leaped up, cupped with his left hand, and came back down and went up and just threw it down in like 2 seconds. But the way he cupped it with his left hand, I was like, who does that? But Saturday, he played 2 minutes against Alabama.
Yeah.
Tuesday, he played 25.
Yeah.
And had 17 and 15.
Yeah.
So I think Coach Sampson is still trying to figure out the rotation.
Yeah.
But Mr. Francis is going to get more minutes going forward.
Let me set the table real quick. We got Kennetra Pulliams joining us. She's with the Big 12 Now and with ESPN Plus. She's about to go into a presser in just a few minutes. We've got Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. It's our Throwback Thursday right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3. Coach Sampson has been telling us all this time he ain't worried about the ranking, not worried about the rankings. And he will throw out things, just in the questions that you'll ask him that he's focused on that most of us in the media, definitely up in the stands, are not even thinking about. And Kennetra, you seem to be onto that too, that now is about adjustments. Now is about finding out who's going to be your 7, 8, 9 going into conference play, going into conference tournament, going into March Madness. Now is the time for them to figure that out. And they don't care if there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 before their name.
No, and here's the thing, also is that, Kansas, this is finals week, so there's just one game. It's just this game Saturday. They haven't played since last Saturday. So they're in a stretch here of just one game per week. So there's a lot of practice days. So you're not playing every other day or 3 games in 7 days. So you can install different things. You can practice different things. You can kind of work on specifically defensive rebounding. You can kind of work on different things because you're facing teams that you're only going to see once. It's not like a conference team where they're familiar with you, your personnel, your coaching style, to where you're going to see them twice, in a conference season. And so same thing like Coach Sampson, KU is trying to develop the bench and the rotation. They're a young team. Yeah, you have essentially 2 starters back from the national championship team in DeJuan Harris Jr. and Jalen Wilson. Kevin McCullough transferred in from Texas Tech, so you have that veteran presence there. But it's a different system and it's a different role. So his shooting is evolving and getting better. But you're also still trying to develop. Okay, who's your backup point guard? You're trying to manage health and injury, and studying and taking finals this week and everything. So this is the time now to where you're like, okay, it's December. Conference play starts in 2 weeks. So now it's like, all right, so you have this one, and then there's one more non-conference game against Harvard next week. And then the following week, hey, you're into Big 12 play.
Yeah. Got to get Kennetra Pulliams joining us. Kennetra, let me ask you this, and Kris, I want your thought on it. Who are the contenders, if you will, this season for the Big 12?
Everything runs through Lawrence. I mean, when you have the national champions, it runs through here. And then of course, if you go by rankings, a lot is you look at right now, Texas. We'll see how that until Chris Beard as long as he's out, we'll see how Rodney Terry manages that interim head coaching role and how the team responds. I mean, they struggled, having to go to overtime against Rice
Right.
this week.
I saw that they should have lost. Yeah.
Yeah. But also at the same time, they should have beaten Illinois on a neutral side game, and they could have very well been number one in the country. But that's neither here nor there. Make a free throw. So Baylor's always tough. To me, it's Texas, Baylor, KU.
Okay. Kris, your thoughts?
KU, Baylor, Texas. The Rice game, Rice played very well. Probably the best game all season. They were hyped up for the matchup because it's important, biggest marquee game for them this season. But the Longhorns, they had problems defending Rice on the perimeter. It's early. And, of course, the whole day was the Kris Beard situation, so they might have had an impact on the players also. So we'll see how that plays out. They got a game this Sunday in Dallas, and I'll be there for the quadruple hitter involving Pac-12 and Big 12 teams, but it's Texas and Baylor on the Big 12 side, and Stanford and Arizona and Washington State and USC on the Pac-12 side. But Baylor, I think, is better than Texas. But KU, as long as KU's in the Big 12, the Big 12 championship is going to run through KU. Even when the Cougs join the conference next year, it's still going to run through Lawrence. So,
I'm going to start taking water shots every time somebody talks about U of H joining the Big 12 before they get to the Big 12. Like, that is just she took one. Don't make me water drunk, Kris. Don't make me water drunk. The football team talks like they play in a Big 12 schedule now, and Doc, y'all getting dog walked by Memphis and them. So I don't know.
And Kansas.
I don't know what to say. Here's my question. Why is Texas Tech falling out of the discussion? Texas Tech went from being a name mentioned when you talk about Big 12 contenders, but for some reason, nationally and in our intimate discussion, Texas Tech is not in that discussion any longer.
They're struggling to score. At some point, no matter how good the defense is, you got to be able to score. And they're struggling to do that. And their big man transfer, who they were counting on, got hurt and now left and can apparently transfer and check this out and play this season. He never played for Tech, so he can transfer and play this season. You talk about 6'11" man who double it at the whack, but still 6'11" is skilled. 6'11" is skilled. So somebody might get a gift fall in their lap at some point too.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to your conference, Kris. How good is Memphis?
Oh, they're very good, and they're very good because they have experience, and not just 5 freshmen. Penny realized talented young freshmen, they're good, but I can't have 5 and 6 of them because they're inexperienced. So he went from the youngest team in college basketball to the oldest because he got transfers and guys like Kendrick Davis from H-Town, from SMU to Memphis, and a guy who Kelvin Sampson has said for 2 years now was the best guard in the conference. That's when Kendrick was at SMU. So now he's at Memphis. So those 2 matchups, regular season will be the biggest in the conference in Memphis. And the hate between the 2 programs from a fan perspective is funny to me because of the respect that Kelvin Sampson has for Penny, and the respect that Penny has for Kelvin.
Oh, right.
But fans are going to fan. They don't want to hear it, but whatever. And one last thing to those Memphis fans who are just hurt. Y'all have fun in the American next year.
You know what?
Drink, because I can drink to that. Because come July
that was
1st,
without naming, saying we're going to the Big 12. That was we're going, you're staying.
Yes, and that really hurts their heart.
If you don't stop,
I'm wounded for them.
Oh my God! Hold on.
'Tis the season of sarcasm.
I have much respect for Penny. I've known Penny for a long time. So, but from a fan perspective, we had a guy come on our show talking all kinds of trash about, well, we'll see what y'all gonna do Sunday in the conference championship. Coug smacked that behind. Never heard from him again. I don't know what happened there. Where you at, man? So, come on now. Really.
I want to do something. Kennetra, how long longer do we have you?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, let's do this real quick. I'm going to say a conference. You tell me who's going to win it. I'm not going to give you all the same conference. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Kennetra, I'm not going to ask you about the Big 12. Kris, I'm not going to ask you about the Big 12. Big 10, Kennetra.
Purdue.
Kris. ACC.
Virginia.
Kennetra, SEC.
Alabama. Tennessee.
I like Alabama. You pick one, I pick the other.
I'll go Tennessee.
Right. Kris, Big East.
Ooh, Creighton.
Kennetra, AAC.
Come on now, sis. Really? Really? I mean, really? You gonna take this long? You got 2 teams to choose from. Just pick one.
I mean,
really?
Okay.
I love it. I love it. Take your time. And if you gotta go ahead and go.
So I'm out.
You called my mama fat, say she couldn't cook.
That's all right.
See, why?
That's all right. I can call and make fun of her because I still gonna make her some cookies at some point. So I
mean, like you keep harping that I'm like calling your mama. Like I'm not. I would I would not.
All my listeners. Everybody.
I would not. Disrespect
Billie Jean.
Your mother's favorite son.
Billie Jean. Yeah.
Hey, my mom was Norma Jean. So.
What part of the country was she from? Because my mama from Darrow, Louisiana.
Galveston. Lamarck.
Yep. AAC.
Yes, answer the question.
Okay. I mean, do we go?
Kennetra, thanks for joining us today. Tell everybody where they can follow you.
Go with your heart, Kennetra. I still love you. It's not gonna change one way or the other. What you say?
Big 12 Now, ESPN Plus pregame show, 10:30 a.m. Saturday. Nice matchup. KU and Indiana. Mike Woodson, Bill Self.
Kennetra, if you do your hands or something like that, that's a shout out to me. So thank you. Are you coming back? You gonna give us another shout? I'll behave next time.
Yes, and because it'll be I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe out there. Love the hat.
Appreciate it.
All right, girl. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye, Kennetra.
Right. See y'all. Bye, Kris.
Kris, who's going to win Conference USA?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know.
UAB?
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to say Rice, but not yet. Well, it doesn't matter. So yeah, because they're going to the American. So yeah.
Right. I'm not going to drink on that one. All right. Hey, let me take my bottom of the hour break. We'll come back with more of Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. I want to thank Kennetra Pulliams for joining us. Big 12 Now, ESPN Plus, and up there getting ready to interview the folks at KU up in Indiana. All right, we'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of these folks right here.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us, still with us. Kennetra had to pull out. Quick question, man. Rockets, hottest team right now. 2 quality players trying to make it through. Y'all said it. Hottest team right now.
No. I just laugh.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
because
they beat Milwaukee, they beat Phoenix, and are they gonna beat Miami?
Oh, the Heat played last night. Jimmy Butler did not play last night. He is expected to play tonight, hometown. I hope so. Well, Tomball, Tomball part of Houston.
Hometown. Yeah.
So that'll be a challenge. Rockets defense is better, but my man,
what?
Last Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
Rockets played the Spurs and looked awful.
Mm-hmm.
Defense looked like they took a nap.
Didn't make the trip.
Did like they overlooked the Spurs because the Spurs were on a long losing streak, and the young guys felt like, we don't have to be professional today, so we'll just coast. And a Greg Popovich coach team said, okay,
we'll take
it. We're going to blow past you every time we get. And that's what they did.
Yep.
And the Rockets, I hope, learned from that. But they're 6-4 in the last 10, which is an improvement. But some folks, okay, they did look awful against the Spurs. So that is still in them. So, yes, they bounced back with 2 good wins. Yes. But don't act like that Spurs game was a year ago. It was literally a week ago. So they're a young team.
Yeah.
And they still play like a young team sometimes.
Yeah.
But the win over the Bucks, which John Lucas filled in for Coach Stephen Silas, and the NBA with the Silas family released a statement about an hour ago. If I could read that in a second.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
But one thing Luke said after the game against the Bucks, the defense was better. They had practice since the loss to the Spurs, but Luke said their meeting and practice was about accountability. Sometimes you got to hold young guys accountable.
Okay.
And veterans too. Got to hold them accountable. If you're not defending like you should, I'm gonna call you out. So with young teams, that's what I try to tell the fans who, supporters of everything I do on Twitter and YouTube. I don't see them do it again. Youngsters y'all can give me shine for a game. That just means I know you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so potential. We know you
potential.
can.
I know you can do it.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Right.
All right. Because Saturday, the show I did Saturday, which is 2 days after the loss to the awful look against the Spurs, my fans are like, KG, man, I don't know, but it's 7-game homestand, 2-5, 1-6. They were just like 3-4 was on the high end for most of them. Most of them said 2-5.
Right.
Well, the Rockets already won 2.
The 2 out of the way.
So 2 out of the way. So, but yes. So just keep it all in mind. Keep it in perspective. They get to a point. Home games, young teams, part of the development, take care of home.
I was going to say, don't young teams typically play better at home than on the road? I know role players play better at home.
Typically.
On the road, typically.
Once everything starts clicking.
Right.
So when we see, like, if the Rockets beat the Heat tonight, that's 3 in a row against 3 solid. Miami's, up and down, but still a solid team. Right. That's a great sign. That means they're starting to protect home court.
Yeah.
That's a great sign of the development. With some folks, I want to say, 2 weeks ago, Stephen Silas is trash. Stephen Silas can't coach. Where's the development on this team? I don't see it. He needs to be fired.
Yep.
I was hearing talk about he needed to win games.
Yep.
And I'm like, what did y'all expect this season with a very young team?
Yeah.
Whose 10 of their first 13 games were on the road.
Right.
So maybe you had the unrealistic expectations and not Stephen Silas and the staff.
Yeah.
But here's a statement from Carolyn Paul and Stephen Silas, the Silas family. We would like to thank everyone who has reached out to give their condolences and share the memories of our husband and father, Paul Silas. This has been an extremely difficult week, but it has been amazing to hear from so many of the people he impacted throughout his life. We especially want to thank Adam Silver and the NBA, Michael Jordan, Fred Whitfield, and the Charlotte Hornets, the Fertitta family and the Houston Rockets, as well as all the teams and individuals who honored Paul with tributes this week. He will be missed dearly. Details are still being finalized, but the memorial will take place in early 2023. Mm-hmm. In lieu of flowers, donations in Paul's memory can be made to the Boys and Girls Club of America. There's a link to it specifically on my website, as well as the Paul Silas Memorial Scholarship at Creighton University. Both links are available on my website, HoustonRoundballReview.com, as well as my Men's Hoops blog. And also I posted it on Twitter and on my Houston Roundball Review YouTube community tab for everybody to look at it, read the statement, as well as if you want to make a donation, you can do so.
Got it. Good stuff, man. And our condolences definitely go out to the Silas family. Paul Silas was an amazing man.
Indeed, he was a great man, and covered the league a long time. And growing up, I'm old enough to know the stories and see the clips of Paul Silas back in the day. And I forget the player, but an article in Anscape just a few days ago, a tribute to Coach Paul Silas, 2004 or so. Mm-hmm. One of his young players was handshaking the opponents after a game, and Coach Paul, he went locker room after the game. Young fellas, all happy and everything, and Coach Paul just shove them to the lockers, bitch. We don't do that on this team. We do not shake hands of the enemy, basically kind of thought. And I'm like, that's old school, man. That's me all day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Man, I got to tell you, brother, it's been an interesting week, to say the least. I did talk about, Coach Silas passing and, extended condolences to Stephen Silas. Obviously, he's been under a lot of pressure here of late. Some folks even tried to take the opportunity to see Coach Lucas should be the head coach. Like, nah, we're not doing that right now. We're not doing that right now. And then, of course, the Chris Beard situation. I said the same thing about that I said about Tom Brady. That's personal stuff. The legal stuff will play out. I appreciate you sending me the things that you sent and got a chance to listen to those and hear those directly. The legal stuff will play out for itself. But I'm more concerned about everyone involved from just a standpoint that they get the things that they need. His significant other, him as a man getting the counseling and the therapy he needs. If there's an addiction, getting help with that. If there's anger management, getting help with that. But it's not fodder for my show. It's not clickbait for my show. You're not going to click on here and hear Chris Beard hot takes. And then also, there just a number of other things that are going on. There was an alumnus from Prairie View, football player that was killed in his home recently as he tried to stop robbers from breaking into his home. So there's a lot of life happening. And while life is happening, sports are still going on. I feel like my show is going to be a little different and just kind of pause on the life stuff and let the sports stuff be it. I'm not talking about Stephen Silas keeping his job or losing his job. The man lost his father. Mm-hmm. Wife lost her husband. And if we can't stop for a minute, as you so eloquently did, and just share their thoughts and their feelings, and then bring our thoughts and feelings around them and lift them up. If we can not talk about X's and O's with Chris Beard and talk about what might have happened, the people that crack jokes about those things, good Lord, what in the hell do you have pumping through your heart? Yep. Or the place where your heart goes? I just don't get folks like that. A lot going on in the HBCU world, but none more important than somebody who played football there and is from our community, and then to find out that his life was taken senselessly in just crazy violence. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the way you do what you do and how you truly have a heart for people and not just a mind for the sports of it.
Thank you, brother. And this is my opinion, okay? We as people, society, we have decided, too many of us have made a decision to make life difficult. Mm-hmm. From this point of view. If you see people as people,
Mm-hmm.
human beings,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of religion,
Mm-hmm.
skin color, where they're from, ethnicity,
Mm-hmm.
we'd be so much better off.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
You see people as people.
Mm-hmm.
Too many of us, we prejudge, and I'm being very simple with that, prejudge. You don't know a person, so you are prejudging based on how they look,
Right.
how you think they act.
Right.
We need to stop doing that and just see people as people. And
Yeah.
I'm not even bringing religion into it.
Right.
If you see people, as folks who are trying to work, earn a living, pay for their bills, take care of their family, be hard workers, all those things that you think that you do as a person, we'd be so much better off. Instead of, well, he looked like so-and-so, he did this, she did that, she did. You don't know that person at all.
Right.
But if you treat them as people and respect them as people, this would be so much better off going forward. It's not that complicated to treat people and see them as people.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's well stated. That's well stated. That kind of opens the door as well to extend deepest condolences to the wife and the 3 children of Twitch, DJ Twitch, former DJ for the Ellen DeGeneres show, former very beloved contestant in So You Think You Can Dance. And man, just all the I get having the conversation about the importance of checking in with people even when they seem like they're strong and even when they seem like they're good, but all of the debate about whether or not he was being selfish by taking his own life and what he should have done to take care of himself, and people giving their own personal stories of how they fought through depression and suicidal ideations and things like that. If everybody was the same, then we wouldn't have some of the problems that we had. You know, we'd still have problems. They'd just be different. People are different. People handle things differently. People respond to things differently. And after someone took their own life is not always the best time, in my opinion, to call someone a coward or to call someone selfish or to make it about you. Thank God you got over your depression and didn't take your own life. This man did. So is your story going to help us bring him back? Is your story going to give his family comfort? You know, is your success going to help this man and his family in this situation? I know the answer, but people still feel the need to make it be about their strength and their victories. And man, right now, I'm just thinking about this brother.
Right.
I'm thinking about his wife. I'm thinking about his children. I don't care if they were TikToking a couple of days ago. I don't care. This is not an indictment on social media. A man is dead for real. A wife is grieving for real, and 3 children are trying to figure out when daddy's coming home.
Right. You know, and I saw a tweet not too long ago, within an hour or so, after Coach Sampson spoke to the media briefly about Saturday's game against Virginia, about there's been an uptick in suicide among African-American men, like 40% higher than every other rate in the last 5 years or so. There's a reason behind that. Okay, whatever the reason is, there's a reason behind it, and we need to help each other to solve that.
Yeah.
Because regardless of overcoming, you know, I've been through some down, tough times, okay? It's not about me.
Right.
Because there are people who felt like there was no other option.
Yep.
Okay? So they took their own life. So it doesn't do any good to bash them. Oh, man, he took his own life. He was being selfish.
Right.
He or she felt that was it. That was their only option.
Right.
Okay? We have to do better to help everyone out. And it goes back to what I said. Treat people like they're people.
Right.
Don't assume that they're always good.
Right.
Don't assume that, well, he's famous.
Yeah.
He's got money. What problem does he have?
We talk about that all the time.
He's a person.
When coaches get fired, oh, well, they got millions of dollars. Oh, they will be all right. And it's like, money doesn't make everything all right. Some people, that's their life desire. That's their dream. A lot of people hit a rough patch when they feel like the thing that I wanted to do the most, I can't do anymore.
Yeah. It's not money doesn't buy happiness, people. It doesn't. I mean, it's great to pay the bills. Doesn't make you happy. So it's all about empathy.
Yeah.
There's not enough empathy in the world for us. I'm not a preacher, you're the preacher. But we just need to treat people as people. And I don't need the holiday season to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we should need the holiday season to treat people with respect.
Yeah.
That should be 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I don't need Christmas time to tell AJ I love you, brother. I don't need to do that. I don't need to wait around. And I'm going to use this. I'm not sure he's watching. Andy Yanez. Bless him, because he was there for me. My mom passed away, and he did a lot for me. And he said on one of the shows, he said, Kris, man, I want to give you your flowers now because of everything you've done for me. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and thank you. We need to give folks their flowers now, while they can hear it and appreciate it and realize that they are loved.
Yeah.
Because at the funeral or the services, what good is it going to do them to give them their flowers then?
Yeah.
Well, you could have done it a week ago,
right?
A month ago, on their birthday or, whatever. So we just kind of do better. And it's so much, I can get into politics of it. Politics and politicians they really pushed the button to the lowest denominator in humanity. Okay, fear the others. It's always the others' fault. It's always them. They did this. They're doing it to you. Most of those folks ain't never met another person, don't look at them in their life. But they know that button, push that button, society is like, ooh, he's talking my language. I'm going to vote for him or her. That's all you know. Rather than take time to get to know people as people, you may realize, well, they're just like me.
Yeah.
He wants to pay for his family. He wants to have his kids get a good education. He wants a better life for his kids than he had. That sounds like me.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Brother, I got to tell you, man, it's got to get better.
Yeah.
You referred to me as a pastor. There's some times when I just don't even want people to know that, because I'm not a pastor like any other pastor. And not that I'm different or I'm better. I'm not going to make my pastorship political. I'm not going to make my core values everybody else's core values. I'm not going to force my faith and my belief on other people. And somebody's instantly thinking that I'm talking about abortion. I got news for you, man. God is concerned about more than just abortion. And folks want to make it, well, you mean to tell me God is not more concerned about little babies, unborn babies? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. That's called unconditional. There are unconditional, infinite things that God is more concerned about than just that. And when you make it all about that, guess what you do? You literally make God just one-dimensional. And there's no end to the dimensions of the God that I believe in and the God that I serve. So that means we're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Our faith is not the same. Our core value is not the same. Our beliefs are not the same. And I will try to reason with you. I will try to have grace for you. But sometimes my grace looks like I got to distance myself from you. Sometimes my grace looks like I've got to leave you alone and go fight a good fight of faith, not just a good fight of one thing in faith.
Yeah, I've distanced myself from friends who last few years, I'm like, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. And you're not going to bring me down.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to be my clouds on a sunny day. Okay. So hey, I'm better off without you. You do you.
Yeah.
I don't hate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your train of thought and your belief system is not mine.
Yeah. Now, the people that try to paint me as liberal, number one, I'm not. People that try to paint me as blue, I'm not. People that try to paint me as radical, okay, I'll take that, but I'm not radical like you think I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, before I even knew what Democrat or Republican, blue or green, elephant or donkey was, I knew I was human.
Yeah. And
I knew that my
radical?
mom told me to be respectful of everybody.
Right. And that's radical.
Well,
Think about that.
Yeah. And again, the folks that outuse the word woke and have no idea what it actually meant before you hijacked it and turned it into what you wanted it to mean, I'll be damned if I'm going to be uninformed, ill-advised, and uneducated on the truths of life just so you can feel better about yourself. And if that makes me woke, then baby, I'm the wokest person you'll ever meet, because I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to understand. In fact, me being woke helps me look you in the face and not punch you in the face. Thank God I'm woke.
Yeah. The day I stop learning is when I'm done.
That's what my dad would tell me. The day you stop learning is the day you might as well let them put you 6 feet under.
Yeah. And so I'm learning. Trust me, I do not know everything. But the only thing I know a lot of is myself. Okay? So, and I still learn about myself daily. I'm trying to be better tomorrow than I am today.
Kris, I tell people, that's why I say I'm a different kind of pastor. The new me saved you from the old me. The old me used to handle things totally differently. But the new me, the person in me that's trying to be better than the old me, he saved you from that.
Yeah.
He saved you from that. Because I think a lot of people think that they can come at you any kind of way and that you're just supposed to respond in a certain way. You don't get it both ways.
Right.
You don't get it both ways. If you're going to be adamant, literally, a lot of times you are creating a mirror. The way you respond to people is how the way they're going to respond back to you. So I choose to try to understand. I choose to try to reason. But one thing I'm never going to do is to succumb to other people's expectations and the things that they try to force on my life because of what you said. They have prejudged me.
Yes. And it took me a long time to realize that and to have that mentality going forward. Because, and think about this, prejudging, we all do it.
Right.
Because if you don't know someone and never met them before, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Your first thing is to prejudge based on another person.
Right.
Something, someone looks similar or whatever. So we all do that.
Right.
So stop. Oh, I'll never do that. I'm above that. No, you're not.
We did something in our church, Kris, that literally I had young people, who I think are some of the most honest people in the world. They're not going to play games with you. I love being a youth pastor forever. We said for a month, we're going to only describe people by something other than color, something other than race. So when I said color, I meant you couldn't even say, oh, the lady with the red hair. It meant you had to then go and learn something about her other than she was black or white with red, brown, or blonde hair. Mm-hmm. You had to come up with something else. So it was hard. And what I love was some of the young people took it home and had their parents do the same thing, because they'd be like, oh, the black boy in your class? No, mom, you can't use race to describe them.
Right.
And it really challenged some people. And it made some people even just out themselves. Well, I'm not going to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. I can look and see that you're black. But you're the main one that want to say, I don't see color.
Right.
So anyway, we got to go, bro. We got to go. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, what you got coming up.
Appreciate it as always, man. Love being on the lunch break. I'm Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok for now, because it sounds like they're trying to shut it down.
Yeah, bro.
But Twitter, the HR Review. I'll be at Rice tomorrow morning. I think Rice men are playing right now against North American. But I'll be at Rice tomorrow morning for the women's team because they play Sam Houston State, 11:15 a.m. Sam Houston State has head coach Raven Justice, who I've known since she was at UH and HCU, and Brittany Mason played at UH, is on her staff. So I'm going to be like old home week for me being there to see them, as well as Rice. Of course, Rice is undefeated as well. And then on weekend, I'll be in Dallas for the Big 12, Pac-12 quadruple hitter. So this Sunday's show on Folks Talking Sports will be Andy Yanez, Willie Gibson, and James Mueller. I won't be part of it because I'll be at a basketball game.
Gotcha.
So all that going forward. Still trying to do a Rocket show this Saturday evening. I'll be in Dallas, but talk Rockets on the YouTube channel, Houston Roundball Review, YouTube. So a lot of stuff going on. Of course, AD Moore will still be talking Texans on the IMAX Corner.
Yeah.
Also on
Please
the
tell AD Moore I need him on the show. I'm sorry.
We can make that happen.
Okay.
We have to record it, but he's got time off these next couple weeks, so we can make that happen. So
yeah, I'll do it.
We'll do that. So look forward to that as well. So of course, the Cougs 5th ranked play at Virginia, number 2 ranked Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. Central Time, Mr. Gibson, on ESPN2. So a lot of hoops going on. Conference play is almost here. So a lot of stuff. Just keep up with the HoustonRoundballReview.com. You know, brother, since 1994, a Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective.
Love you, brother. We'll talk soon. Be safe out there.
You too.
All right, y'all. Listen, before I go, I got to give to the winner of the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. Had a lot of folks that had 8 and 9 wins, but it was 10 wins that won. It came down to the tiebreaker between Erica with a K and Duval. And Duval was only 3 away from the final score. So Duval, I've already sent you your money. You got that on yesterday. But again, Duval, 10 wins, 3 away from the final score. Got that. Erica with a K was 12 points off of that exact final score. But again, congratulations, Duval. Let me give you the current total standings. Top 6 will compete for $500 cash at the end of the year. Right now, number 1, Miss Pearl. Number 2, Chi-Town. Number 3, Nuke Delano. Number 4, Amber has snuck back into the top 6. Number 5, Emmanuel. And number 6, Alexis. Y'all let that little quiet girl get back in there. Only 1 out of the top 6 is Erica with a K. Only 3 out is T-Bone, Keith Hennick, Keisha Kelly, Al High, Football G, Big Time Floyd, Big Mike, Milo, Vinny, Todd. Y'all still have a shot. Y'all still have a shot. Clarence, you almost got to win out for the rest of the season. So again, congratulations to Duval, Miss Pearl, Chi-Town, Delano, Amber, Emmanuel, Alexis. They are all in this week's top 6. So as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There is nothing you can do about it except meet us here tomorrow for Freestyle Friday, y'all. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you then.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Thursday, December 15th, 2022. Number 1, less than 1 month after the shooting at Club Q in Colorado Springs, Colorado, survivors of the mass shooting traveled to Washington, D.C. to testify before the House Oversight Committee. The goal of Wednesday's hearing was to highlight the real and growing problem of violence experienced by survivors of horrific attacks. Members of Congress say they are seeking to point out changes that have happened and those laws passed by state legislatures, particularly in Republican majority areas that have stripped away protections from the LGBTQ communities. Number 2, Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema, an unapologetic moderate, has alienated progressives with her stance on the filibuster and other issues, and now she's leaving the Democratic Party to register as an independent. Sinema's move is unlikely to change the power balance in the Senate, as it comes days after Senator Raphael Warnock won the Georgia runoff election to give Democrats a 51-49 majority. That includes 2 independents who usually caucus with them, Senators Bernie Sanders of Vermont and Angus King of Maine. Number 3, a person's choice to decline vaccinations does not outweigh public health and safety requirements in medical settings. That according to a judge's ruling in a Montana case. U.S. District Judge Donald Malloy last week permanently blocked a section of law the state said was meant to prevent employers, including many healthcare facilities, from discriminating against workers by requiring them to be vaccinated against communicable diseases, including COVID-19. Number 4, Dalvin Gadsden, a 29-year-old black man who is a veteran, was beaten by Colorado Springs, Colorado police during an October traffic stop. His attorneys are now calling for a criminal investigation. On October 9th, Gadsden was living out of his car when an officer identified as Officer Hickman stopped him for an improperly displayed license tag and claimed to smell marijuana in Gadsden's car and allegedly observed that Gadsden's speech was slow, that according to court documents. But according to Gadsden's attorney, the vehicle should not have been searched because marijuana is legal in Colorado. Gadsden sustained multiple injuries, including his eye, a ruptured eardrum, and PTSD. He was charged with 2 counts of second-degree assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, obstructing a peace officer, driving under the influence, and driving without license plates. Both assault charges were dropped, and the DUI charge was dismissed December 7th. Number 5, Stephen Twitch Boss, who was a runner-up on the competition series Star Search and So You Think You Can Dance before landing opposite Ellen DeGeneres in her syndicated daytime talk show as a DJ, died by suicide. He was 40. According to TMZ, around 11:15 a.m., paramedics got a call for a medical emergency at an LA motel where they found Stephen Twitch Boss dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, please contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988. Just those 3 numbers, or texting STRENGTH, STRENGTH, to the crisis text line at 741-741, or going to 988lifeline.org. That's a lot to remember, but please, if you need help, reach out somewhere to someone. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. The best time to relax your mind is always. I'll drink to that. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with our mental health and wellness contributor, Aprilette Russell, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Please subscribe to our What You Need to Know newsletter by going to SibylWilkes.com. We seek to inform and empower.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.